Hey everyone, Bergen here. You know, I'm just your average guy, but right now, I'm living a life most people only dream about. I'm talking cool watches, amazing cars, high-rise apartments, and living in my dream city, all at 20 years old. Just a few years ago, when I was 14 or 15, I was grinding away at a regular minimum wage job, just like a lot of you probably did in high school, stocking shelves. Fast forward to today, and I'm pulling in over $300,000 a month in pure profit. What am I doing? Nothing but running ads for businesses from my laptop and phone. I've basically built the life I once only dreamed of. My journey? It's been tough, no sugarcoating it. I didn't have it easy at all, but I'm not here to brag. I'm here to show you what's truly possible for you if you commit and put in the work. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I started, how I got scammed and fell back to square one, and how I bounced back to live this cool, lavish lifestyle you see me posting about online. Let's dive into my story. Chapter 1, From Small Town to $10,000 a Month. Have you ever felt stuck, like you're meant for more but you just don't know what that more is? That's exactly how I felt growing up. I knew I was capable of more, destined for more, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, beyond the fact that I wanted to be rich as hell and live life on my own terms. My journey started pretty much like any other kid's, sitting in my parents' basement, playing Fortnite for literally 15 hours a day. This was prime COVID time. My dream? To become a pro Fortnite player, like all those guys you saw back then. Clicks, booga, all the people making tons of money playing video games for a living. I wanted that, and honestly, that was my first little taste of making money online, doing wagers and winning some cash playing against people on Fortnite. Of course, I'd lose too, and lose money, but it was a start. Then high school came around, and the next big thing was crypto and NFTs. I actually started doing pretty well with this. I started grinding, learning everything I could. My main focus was just to soak up as much knowledge as possible. Over those 6 to 12 months, grinding in the crypto and NFT community, trying to get whitelisted for projects, which basically means you can buy a project at its mint price and resell it for higher. I actually made my first few $1,000s in that space. It's funny because I used that money to take a trip to Miami, which is where I live now. I came here for an NFT event. I think I was 16 at the time. And ever since that first trip, the moment I touched down in Miami, I knew this was where I wanted to be. This was the lifestyle I wanted to live. This was what I genuinely wanted to make a reality for myself. That trip honestly changed my entire perspective on life. But eventually, the market kind of crashed, and all my gains from that space pretty much went to zero. Throughout this whole period, I was still working my 9-to-5 job, pulling in a couple of $100 a week from stocking shelves and helping customers at a retail store. I actually worked in the sporting goods department. It was a pretty terrible job, but it made me a little money that I could then invest in the online stuff I was trying to do. So, while everyone else around me was out partying, going to football games, having fun, just being an average high schooler, my life was pretty much wake up, go to school, hit the gym, go to work, and then work on my business after that. It was a lot, but looking back now, it definitely paid off. Long story short, nothing during that time really clicked for me where I started making good, consistent income. But I was learning a ton. I was gaining skills, which is the most important thing. And I knew that throughout all of it, a failure wasn't a loss. It takes X amount of fails to achieve your first win. It was more like a wake-up call. I saw all these other people doing it, even people my age at the time, 16, 17 years old, making money online. And I thought, why can't I do the same for myself? I knew it was possible, I just realized I had to work at it long enough and find exactly what was going to work for me. So, after all the crypto and NFT trading failures, I decided to get into dropshipping. Dropshipping was pretty much the same story. I launched about 4 different products. My very first one was actually these unique lighters, and I managed to do my first $100 in sales. I think I got 3 sales in total, which I want to say equated to like $76 or something. Then my next product was these stupid gym bracelets that sold like 4 units. I did about $100 in sales. And then my third product was these viral, shy masks, you know, the yeet ones. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. I started selling those, and that was actually the first time I had ever experienced running ads. I ran ads, filmed my own creatives for those products, and they were profitable. I was making a little bit of money. I saw my first couple of dollars with e-commerce and knew it was possible. From there, that store ended up shutting down about a month later, and in total, I think I did around $7,000 in sales, which wasn't bad for my third store ever. That's what led me to start a clothing brand. It was more of a trend at the time to actually go and start a clothing brand, and I was learning all this information on how to do it from TikTok. I had some experience in e-commerce, using Shopify, setting up a website, and running ads, so I figured, why wouldn't I be able to make this work? That's exactly what I did. I started my clothing brand. I started posting daily on TikTok about the brand I was building, which everyone from my school was seeing at the time. Nobody ever really said anything to my face like, "Oh, what the hell are you doing?" But I knew damn well people were saying that behind my back. I actually heard from a lot of my friends in high school at the time that they heard other people saying it behind my back. But I didn't let it get to my head. I knew that I was at least trying to do something with my life. And I think that's the biggest thing. Not caring what other people think and knowing that at least if you're trying to do something, you're better than those other people because you're trying to better yourself, and they're not. They're only hating because you're trying to make a change for yourself. Mind you, I grew up in a very small town where gossip spreads quickly, and stuff like that isn't normal. The norm in a town like that is, go to high school, graduate, go to college, get a degree, and then go and work a job for the rest of your life. So when someone was trying to do something to escape that matrix, it was looked at as like, yo, you are cringe. But like I said, no one ever had the guts to say anything to my face, so I still pushed through. I ended up doing $2,000 in sales on my first drop, which, mind you, isn't a lot, but at the time, it felt incredibly rewarding. I realized that people were interested in my brand and wanted to purchase from it, and I realized it had potential. So then I moved forward with my second drop. I kept posting on TikTok, I kept marketing myself, trying to build a personal brand and build my overall brand, as well as just make good products to sell. My second drop ever, I actually decided to run ads as well, which resulted in me doing $25,000 in sales on this drop. At the time, I was riding that high, bro. I felt like I was rich as hell. I felt like a trillionaire, bro. Then, fast forward all the way to my fifth drop, where I had done $200,000 in sales. Throughout that process, I moved from high school into college, to then dropping out of college and continuing to scale my clothing brand and moving to Arizona. Chapter 2. How one decision made me $340,000 and basically freed myself for the rest of my life. Now, looking back on this one decision probably changed everything for me and allows me to be where I am today and allows me to be a millionaire at 20 years old. I realized that while I was running ads for my clothing brand, it wasn't ever me doing it. I had an agency who was doing it that I was paying $2,000 a month. So I was paying this person to run my ads, $2,000 a month. I realized, why can't I just learn the skill of running ads myself? I can save $2,000. I can have control over how well my ads perform. And I'm going to learn a whole another skill that will definitely benefit me down the road. Turns out, it benefited me a lot quicker than down the road. I said to myself, I'll just learn the hard way, and I'll keep all the profits. I fired that agency. I started running ads for my own brand, and that was the best month I had ever done with my brand. I realized the skill of running ads was not something complex at all, and anyone could do it. So I figured, why would I pay that agency when I could do it myself and then start my own agency and offer it to other brands? I had that light bulb moment. I could do this for all of the other brand owner friends that I have, all the other brand owners in the space that I know, and I could make a whole another income off of doing this. I ended up landing my first few clients when I did my outreach to a bunch of brand owner friends that I had, other brands that I had just seen around. I was collecting cash up front before even doing any of the work for these brands, signing clients on $2,000 retainers, $1,000, even $500. I was basically collecting whatever I could get so that I could sign clients and 1, make money, but 2, also get inside of their ad account and get more hands-on experience. I think it was like my second month ever trying to do this, and I had made $10,000 profit from doing so. And this is exactly what led me into now being in the business model, freelance brand scaling. And I know you're probably wondering, what is it? Does it work? How do I start? Does it make money? But we're going to get all into that in just a little bit. Chapter 3. Dropping out and locking in. After realizing that I could make a solid $10,000 to $20,000 a month profit with freelance brand scaling, I realized that there was a decision that had to be made. Mind you, this was when I was in college at the time. And that decision was, do I drop out of school and go and do this full-time and really go chase my dreams with it? I realized that it would take a grind, it would take little sleep, it would take sacrifices. So that is exactly what I did. I dropped out of school after going for only 2 months. College didn't feel like it was for me at all when I realized that I was making $10,000 to $20,000 a month profit but still had to go and sit in a lecture. I basically told my parents, yo, listen, I know I haven't told you guys this yet, but I'm making really good money doing all of this stuff online that I've been telling you guys about. I want to try to do it full time, and I want to drop out of school. I genuinely think that I can make this a reality, and I think that I can be very successful doing this. And of course, them being good parents and wanting what's best for me, they were a little hesitant, like, yeah, go ahead and do that. But they were still supportive of it. They were like, listen, we understand that you're a smart kid and you'll figure it out on your own, and we want you to do what you think is best for yourself and go and do whatever makes you happy. And I was like, well, this is what's going to make me happy, and this is what I want to do and what I think I can do with my life. So I sat them down, I told them that, and then the next day, I dropped out of school. Not only did I drop out, but I moved all the way across the country to Arizona. I realized that in order to actually be successful, I had to get out of that little small town matrix and move somewhere where there was much more inspiration, motivation, and just more opportunity. My first few months there were definitely a little rough. I didn't really have many friends, kind of sat in a dark room from sun up till sundown and did basically nothing but worked on my business. And that's the side people never really saw about me. It was kind of depressing. It wasn't very fun by any means, but it was what needed to be done in order to get me to where I'm at today. I had to sit through that period of just constantly grinding and focusing on building my business so that I could get to where I am today. And like I said, people don't see that. They just see the flashy lifestyle now, but they don't understand what it actually took. But that's why I'm making this video, I guess. After my first month making $10,000 profit back when I was in college, to fast forwarding probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 months later, I had my first ever $100,000 profit month. I was 19 years old, I'm 20 now. It's an incredible feeling to know that you're making that much money at such a young age in such a quick amount of time, but nothing matches that feeling, and I wouldn't trade that feeling for anything. I then started building out a team and realizing that in order to actually scale higher than that, I had to start delegating some of these tasks out and building my business further, going from kind of that freelancer to building out a full-fledged agency. Then I moved into a penthouse with all of the friends that I had kind of met along this way in Arizona, Fredo, Pierre, all those guys. But this was all because I figured out freelance brand scaling, and from there, it was game over. What exactly is freelance brand scaling? So, what truly is freelance brand scaling, and why is it one of the best things that you could start in 2025? It's simple. Businesses need more customers, and you are the one that helps them get more customers. That's it. You learn how to run ads on different platforms like Meta, TikTok, and Google. You offer that service to any type of business that would ever need it. You drive sales and traffic through paid media. So literally just running ads on those platforms for these businesses to drive more traffic to their business, and you get paid a fat percentage or a monthly retainer. If you become the person who understands it and knows how to use it, you become so valuable to these businesses. There are an estimated 4 million online businesses in the US alone, and there are only going to be more and more businesses that are made. That's why the opportunity now to get into freelance brand scaling is huge, but in the future, it's only going to get bigger. So you learn the skill now, you master the skill in a few months, and then in a few months, so many businesses are going to need you and be in demand of your service. But now that you understand that, let's get back to the story. Once I realized that I was making really cool money and doing abnormal things as a young kid, I realized that I could show this lifestyle and the thing that I built for myself to other people. I started posting here and there on YouTube, and it started to gain some traction, so I started to take it more seriously. I realized that I was inspiring so many young people out there, and just people overall, and I wanted to continue to do that. It felt fulfilling to me, and it was fun to just create fun content. And I realized that also posting this content would bring more traction to my freelance brand scaling business and get me more clients. So now I have a waiting list of clients who want to work with me, and my agency is doing better than ever. It's allowed me to buy multiple of my dream cars, a Lamborghini Aventador, a BMW M3 Competition, a 992 Porsche GT3 RS, live in this amazing high-rise in downtown Miami, and be able to basically do whatever I want with my life. I'm able to help my family, buy whatever I want, go wherever I want, have basically no worries other than continuing to do what I'm doing. And that's because I actually decided to take action in making my life a better life. I took a risk on myself. I bet on myself, and I made it happen. Even after failing so many times, I stayed consistent, and I kept doing what I knew I needed to do. The biggest piece of advice I could give you is stop thinking that you're not capable of doing it and realize you're no different from the people who have done it. You need to realize that you need to invest in yourself, whether that's spiritually, mentally, financially, in order to become the person you want to become. You have to do the things that are necessary. You have to make yourself a better person. The 1% of people are the 1% of people because they do the things that the 99% don't do. Chapter 5. This is how you actually start. First, you might think you need money or a business to start. You don't. Second, you might think it's too hard to start. It's not. Third, you might think you're too late. You're not. It's still early. So you know what you need to do now. But here's what I would tell you to do to be able to copy my success. 1. Learn the skill of running ads. This is the core of it all. 2. Get proof that you know how to run those ads. Sign your first couple of clients. Get them results. Boom. You have proof. You might ask, how do I sell my first couple of clients without having any sort of results? Use different things like free trials, irresistible offers. 3. Outreach daily to sign clients. This is where the hustle comes in. 4. Build a portfolio of your results, your case studies, your clients that you have. You can then use that to document and drive leads who come to you rather than you going to them. 5. Get paid out. Get your retainers, get your rev share, make your money. I definitely still have big challenges in my life, but those challenges are what have matured me and allowed me to get to where I am today. So don't be afraid to take that risk. That's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you guys watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.